Hi, I'm Karen Harrison. Welcome to Reiki Call for April 2019. I'm glad you're here and joining us this evening as we connect with Reiki and discuss your questions and have discussion and send Reiki to each other, to the earth, and to whatever causes that we want to send to. So I am glad to be here and glad to have some warmer weather on the horizon. Wonderful. So welcome to Beverly, Liz, and Kevin. And I'm going to start off with just a little centering meditation to help us all get centered and calm, and a little mark from our busy days that we've likely had. So if you have Reiki, activate your Reiki and take a deep breath. And intend to breathe that Reiki energy in from the bottoms of your feet, up from Mother Earth, all the way to the top of your head. And then exhale that energy all the way back down into the earth. Inhale the energy all the way up from the bottoms of your feet to the top of your head. And exhale it down, back deep into the earth. And then inhale it back up again. Up and out your aura, this time cascading over the aura, down your aura, down into the ground. And again, inhaling the energy up, out the aura, cascading down the aura, clearing the aura, helping us to be very centered and calm and present with our Reiki energy activated. And continue just focusing on your breath for a moment, allowing the Reiki energy to expand, and focus on your heart chakra. And intend to allow the Reiki energy to center there. Breathe in Reiki energy into your heart. Exhale a Reiki energy from your heart out into the world. Again, inhale Reiki energy into your heart. And exhale Reiki energy out of your heart into the world. Inhale again. Exhale. And now you can open your eyes. We bring our meditation time to a close. That was just the beginning, our centering meditation. And by the way, the little key clicking and stuff is my assistant sitting right next to me, processing all my Reiki class paperwork from last weekend. So that's not me typing, it's her typing away. And I'm always happy to have her helping me out and working. So welcome to phone number ending in 5121. Can I put your first name with your phone number?
Pooja.
Pooja, okay. All right, welcome Pooja.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, well, I guess I'd like to start off with all of you and see if any of you would like to share what you've been doing with Reiki lately. Okay, well, I will share.
I'm sorry.
Huh? You got something, Kevin? Go ahead.
Yeah, it took me a second to take me off mute. But anyway, yeah, no, I went on a whirlwind trip the last couple of days. I was actually through Kansas City, but both times was well after you were asleep probably. And we were having truck problems. And I literally Reiki'd the truck almost constantly to get us home in one piece and safely. So we made it. So I have to thank it for that, certainly.
Wow. Wow. Well, yes, safe travels. That's a good one. Well, I'm sorry I missed you. Yes,
Yeah, me too. I thought about you when I was driving through town, but the first time it was well after midnight, and then coming back was probably about 10 p.m. So
okay. All right. Well, I have been using Reiki while teaching Reiki class. It's always a really good time to use it. So I just had a Reiki master class here this past weekend in Kansas City, and a group of 6 wonderful women. And one of the really cool experiences that happened as they were giving each other Reiki on the hands-on table time, I think about 4 of them saw a bright burst of white light, and they were all really pretty amazed. So it wasn't any sort of, lightning or anything. I mean, it was a fully sunny day. So, who knows how you would explain it. I think it was the Holy Fire Reiki, providing a physical phenomena that was pretty cool. So they all really enjoyed that. Okay, Liz says, I helped heal my son when he had a compound fracture of his ankle. Dad said he wouldn't be able to walk at all before 6 months. It's been less than 3 months and he's already walking. I gave him Reiki every day for the first 6 to 8 weeks. He's healed so fast with the help of Reiki. Wow, well, that's exciting. So, Liz, I would love to have you post that in my Reiki with Karen group. Right now we're having a little contest, having people post stories about Reiki healing, for their family members. So anyway, that would be fun to post that there. Okay, super.
I have a Reiki story to share.
All right, great.
My niece, my nephew's wife, was pregnant, and she is due, or was due, on the 20th of April. And for some reason, we still don't know why, but they decided on Saturday that they were planning on taking her. And Betsy, my sister, and I found out that they were planning on doing this, and we were both kind of, well, that doesn't sound great. Why are they inducing her before? Why didn't they just give her time to have her baby? And so I said, well, let's send her some Reiki. And this was on Friday night. We sent her Reiki, and she went into labor at 2:30 in the morning on Saturday. And so they didn't have to induce her.
Oh.
It just natural.
Wow. Well, that's another cool story. Again, I'd love to have you write that up and post it, because we all learn from each other and we're inspired from each other. So it's wonderful to, hear about what's happened when you've used Reiki and what sort of things you've used it on.
Yeah. You're talking about posting it on the Facebook group?
Yeah, on my Reiki with Karen Harrison Facebook group.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Super. Thanks. Okay. Anybody else want to share? Okay. Well, let me ask if any of you have any questions, because otherwise I can go to the questions that were sent in. Okay, well, I'm going to start on the questions that were sent in. If something occurs to you, then unmute yourself or speak up or, type it in the chat. So Smita sent me in a question about Reiki for vision problems. What do you do for that due to diabetes? And it would probably be a great idea to scan over the eyes, use your Biosin scanning. And if there's blockage over the eyes, then it would be great to give Reiki there. And most likely you would find blockage over the eyes if there are some vision problems. but you can also scan over the whole body and, treat the body. So basically the answer is no matter what the problem is, scan and see where you feel the blockage in the body, because two different problems or the same problem might show different disturbances in the energy field. They could have two different origins. So that's what I would do, and concentrate over the eyes. I've recently had some eye challenges due to a sinus infection that I found out I gave myself from using a water pick that had black mold in it. So I had a lot of sinus pressure here and particularly over the left eye. So I've given a lot of Reiki to my left eye. It's still annoying. That's why you see me putting eye drops in. But yeah, giving Reiki over the eyes is really helpful. And also giving yourself Reiki and asking yourself, what is the original cause of this? It took me a while to figure out about the black mold in my water pick. And then after that, it also took me a little bit longer to figure out, this is a sinus infection. I mean, I don't normally get sinus infections, so I didn't know that pressure in the face and head meant it was a sinus infection. But when I finally figured that out, then it's a lot easier to treat that. Reiki alone may not help that, particularly if I'm continuously using a water pick with black mold. Anyway, that puppy has been trashed. So now I know you got to clean those things. Run some alcohol or vinegar water through them every week, or at least no less than every month. Little health tip. All right, so that's for vision issues. And here is a really interesting question. When giving Reiki, recipients tell me my hands sometimes feel warm on one part of the body and cool on another. And I notice that when practicing on myself. For example, my hand can feel cool on the throat and warm on the chest. Interesting thing is when I move it back to the throat to check the feeling, it feels cool again. Is it some known phenomena? Is the temperature of the hand correlated with the strength of the energy flow? Most times I'm not aware of the change in the recipient's perception of warmth if I am not practicing on myself. So this was a question from Sonia, and what she is experiencing is the phenomena of Biosen scanning. In Biosen scanning, a cold sensation, on the throat means the energy is likely blocked there. And so we need to spend more time giving Reiki there until it starts to warm up. If the energy is warm, then that likely means that the energy is flowing. If it's hot, then that's another indication that we may need to treat that area. So anything, when we're scanning that feels different, warmer, hotter, colder, thicker, I'm just showing you around the head since that's what you can see on the screen. But, if you feel like earlier today, I had a kind of a headache, so I had a little spiky thing here. You can feel that, and those are the areas to treat. So you can read about Biosen scanning in William Rand's Reiki 1 and 2 manual. And then Frank Arjava Petter also had some further details about Biosen scanning in 3 editions of the Reiki News magazine. So I summarized that into a handout that I give out of my Reiki 1 and 2 class. And if you want that, you can contact me at Karen@KarenHarrison.net. I guess I should have mentioned my website earlier. It's KarenHarrison.net, and email Karen@KarenHarrison.net. So feel free to contact me. Also, the more that the recipient intends to be open to the energy and soak it up, the more that it tends to flow. Because the recipient can block the energy, if they're afraid or not sure or not feeling comfortable, the energy may not flow as well as it could. So let's see, there was one other thing I wanted to share about that. It may also take a while as a giver to get used to the feeling of the energy in your hands because it's subtle. And I tell people it feels, kind of like that, kind of tingly. I know when I first started learning Reiki, I didn't really feel much of anything in my hands for the first year. It took me a while, because I was kind of shut down energetically, due to an abusive marriage. So it took a while before I could feel it. I just kept practicing and, eventually I did feel it. And now I feel it really strong. And sometimes, like right now, my hands are really hot. Oh, okay. Here's the other thing I wanted to mention. If you are giving Reiki and your hands typically are cold, like you just are cold natured, your hands probably aren't going to get as hot as others. Now they might, but they might not. So don't worry that your Reiki isn't working. It's just, if you have typically cold hands, they're not going to warm up as much as others. So don't be concerned about that. Any comments or questions about that from the people on the call? Okay. All right, let's see. All right, someone else said that I'm going to be teaching my first Reiki 1 and 2 class. And I have a few folks asking about continuing education. How do I go about getting the course accredited for CEUs? Well, to get them accredited, what you need to do is write the board of the profession that you want to get them accredited for. So say you want to get it accredited for massage in your state, then you would write to the massage board and ask them for their paperwork and fill it out and send it in. And then if you're approved, you'll be able to offer the continuing education units. A very simple way is to give people a form. And I give this out in my Reiki classes. I give them a sample CE form in my Reiki Master class that you can give to people that you would type in with your name, and you would just, document how long the class is, what time it started, what time it ended, and about how many hours, of continuing education, depending on how long you met, of course, taking the time off that you spent for lunch. And, just documenting that they attended, put their name on it, and some professions might accept that. I put a little disclaimer on it at the bottom that you can turn this into your licensing board for potential credit. Okay, that doesn't mean that it will be accepted. So they shouldn't necessarily count on that. There also seems to be a trend in some of the national organizations away from accepting Reiki for continuing education for some of the professions like counseling and, mental health. And also the massage therapy boards are only accepting the continuing education for Reiki 1, and that's the NCB TMB. So the particular state may well be different, but I'm just referring to the National Massage Board. Okay, any questions or comments about that? Okay, and Liz commented earlier that my hands are usually very warm to hot. Yeah, sometimes the Reiki energy gets really, really warm. Sometimes I'll just have sweat dripping down my back, because there's so much energy flowing. And that's either because the person is really good at drawing the energy, because I actually can only give them as much as they're willing to receive, or because they have a lot of need for the Reiki. And then my hands will get really hot. So I always think it's a good idea to wear a short sleeve cotton shirt when giving Reiki, in case I have that sweat dripping down my back. That's pretty cool. It's like, oh my gosh, I have just gotten what seems like the benefits of a bunch of exercise from standing there giving Reiki, and I didn't expend any effort, but I am sweating. So it's an easy workout. Okay. And then Liz says, sometimes my back hurts if I'm leaning over, but then I just concentrate on the Reiki energy flowing through me and it helps me to the end. Okay, posture. That is very important. So that's one of the things I teach in my classes. It's very important that you watch your posture. Instead of bending over, bend your knees. Do a kind of like a yoga warrior pose or something, where you have your legs bent by the side of the table, either facing the table or, a little bit sideways with your hands like that. So I can't really show you here, but, it'd be kind of like that. So it's important that you not get yourself in an uncomfortable position. One, that can hurt you. Two, the energy is not going to flow as well if you're uncomfortable. So do your best to make yourself comfortable when giving Reiki. Sometimes if I'm sitting, I will put a pillow underneath my arms here, and then I can rest my hands on the pillow, and that makes it easy. Like maybe I need to give Reiki to someone in a chair. So I will adjust my posture so that I can be as comfortable as possible. And for that, I really love the pneumatic stools that go up and down so that I can raise myself or lower myself. So like tomorrow, I have 6 hours of Reiki sessions. If I stood in an uncomfortable position for several of those hours, I'd be a mess, by the end of the day. So that wouldn't be good. So as Reiki givers, we always need to focus on taking care of ourselves first, and posture is an important part of that. So yeah, thanks for that comment. Okay, and welcome to Samsung Galaxy. Can I put your name instead of your phone type? Okay.
How do I do that? Sorry.
Okay, and what's your name?
Shraddha. I'm Pooja's sister.
Oh, wonderful.
Younger sister. Hi.
Hi, I'm glad you joined us. How do I spell your name?
SHRADD, D for Delta, HA, Shraddha Singh, SINGH.
Okay, welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, well, we are just discussing some questions that people have sent me. I'm just gonna, does anybody else on the call have any other questions before I go to the questions that were sent in? Okay. All right. Well, the next question I'm going to answer, this is kind of interesting. It says, I wonder why in receiving Reiki, my experience has not been a sense of well-being. Okay. So there could be several reasons for that. If you're receiving Reiki at a Reiki circle, sometimes it can feel unsettling to someone to have Reiki from several people at once. Another Another possibility is that the giver of the Reiki didn't set their personality and ego to the side, and they're trying to force the energy to do something rather than allowing Reiki to flow, okay, which is what the ideal is. You know, we're supposed to allow the energy rather than, you know, push the energy. If you try and push with the energy, you know, with your intention, then that can feel uncomfortable. And then the other thing that can happen is if you are an empath, a highly sensitive person, you could be picking up on the giver's issues and problems. So for that, you'll need to address your empath issues. And that's a whole nother long talk. But a brief way to handle that is just intending, you know, like if you have Reiki and you're receiving Reiki, that you're just blanketed with the Reiki power symbol. You know, like sometimes when I go to Reiki Circle, I allow everyone to try their hand at Reiki, even people that have not yet received Reiki training, you know, because everyone has the ability to channel energy. So if I have new people working on me, I just intend that the power symbol is blanketing me and making all of the energy coherent with my body and to flow well and be for my highest good. So that takes care of it. And also, you know, doing a little brief grounding before I get on the table and after the table helps me to clear any energy that needs to go. And we began this call with the grounding meditation that I like to use. So that helps quite a bit. You know, empaths need to ground. So any comments or thoughts about that? Okay. All right. Well, now I would like to move into sending Reiki to each other and also to the earth and to any world challenges that you would like. So if you've got Reiki 2 or higher, then you're going to activate your power symbol, your mental emotional symbol, your distance symbol, and any other symbols that you want, and activate Reiki. If you are new to Reiki, you know, or there's someone listening to this who has not yet been attuned to Reiki, then you're going to call on Source and Divine Love, you know, because Reiki is love. And, you know, connect with that, call that into your hands. And then we're going to intend to send that Reiki energy out to each other. Now, you can either hold your hands like that, but you certainly don't have to. That could get tiring because we're going to do this about 20 minutes. Okay, you could hold your hands like that, you know, on your lap, resting, or any other way that is comfortable to you. So I'm going to start with a little prayer, and then we'll move into a time of silence. All right. So, Father, Mother, God, Sweet Holy Spirit, we intend to call on the Reiki energy, and we intend to set our personalities and egos aside to be clear and open channels for only the highest and holiest Reiki energy. And we intend to send this energy out to our family and friends in need, our pets, our plants, our homes, to fill them with positive, loving energy, our work environments, to fill them with love, and to send Reiki out to whomever that we choose, to everyone on this call and everyone who watches this call later. And also to Mother Earth, to care for Mother Earth, to care for the water and the plants and the soil and the food that is being grown. And also for our world leaders, that they be guided by divine love, divine guidance, So they are guided to create a world that works for everyone, full of love, safety, peace for all, food for all, shelter for all, abundance for all. And so it is. So now, activating your Reiki energy, I'm going to put this on mute so it'll be nice and quiet. And then we'll come back a little bit before 8 and wrap up. All right, let's bring that to a close. Wow, I don't know about you all, but I feel great now. Feel rejuvenated and relaxed. Actually, like I could go crawl in bed and just go to sleep. So, yes. What about the rest of you? How are you feeling?
Amazing. Very relaxed.
Very nice.
Yeah, that was really good.
Good.
I would like to back up a little bit, if I may, and address something that stuck out
Sure.
a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I've gone through all three of the levels of Reiki now, and I definitely believe that more intuitive people are drawn to this. And I've met a lot, and I personally, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm fairly intuitive, but I also feel that there are two completely different things, and they can coincide with each other, but they can also be a distraction if both of them are trying to be done at the same time, that I've discovered.
Can you clarify that a little bit?
Well, yeah, absolutely, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. When I'm getting a Reiki treatment, I want to receive the pure energy. I don't want a psychic reading and I feel like when a person who is giving me a Reiki session, who's more focused on trying to figure out what's wrong with me in my past, I feel it cheapens the session, and like I said, it's very distracting. I don't like it at all.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's a good point. When someone comes for a Reiki session, it's important to focus on what their goals are. What do they want out of the Reiki session? Do they want relaxation and stress reduction? A good quiet Reiki session is good for that. Do they want trauma healing? In my Reiki sessions, I have many people drawn to me that want healing of past traumas. And then that's a little bit different session focused on healing a specific issue. But I did one time have a Reiki session where a person would do one hand position, and while she was giving Reiki, she would do like a psychic reading on that particular area. Then she would stop and take notes. Then she would give Reiki to another area and stop and take notes. And at the end of the session, then she would tell me what she came up with. And that isn't what I was wanting. And it interfered with the flow of the Reiki. And so ultimately, I quit going to her. Also, if you do get intuitive impressions, it's a really good idea to ask permission to share them and do it in a way that is kind, and telling the person, check this out in your meditation and see if that fits for you, because no one is an authority on another person. That person needs to consult their own guidance about what is accurate for them. So does that kind of fit with what you were saying, Kevin?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was a wonderful explanation. Because I know they can coincide with each other, but it has to be more about the person than yourself, is my point.
Yes.
Or the recipient versus the giver.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, any other comments or want to share how you're feeling? Okay, all right. Well, I hope that you will join us next month. It's usually the third Monday of the month, depending on my travel schedule. I'm heading to Dallas on the 22nd. I'll be down there for a week. Then I'll be back in Kansas City for a week, and then I'll be in Omaha for a week. teaching classes. So I hope to see you in one of the cities that I am at, and love to have you join us. Usually my classes, we have lunch break 12:30 to 1:30 or 1:45. So if you're in the area, you are welcome to come and join us. And you can check out my schedule at www.karenharrison.net. My email is karen@karenharrison.net. I have a Facebook page, which is Whole Life Center. And I have a YouTube channel that you can find at Karen Harrison Reiki, where I have videos on all sorts of different Reiki topics. So thank you so much for joining us, and namaste. And
Thank you. Namaste.
thank you for joining us. Okay. And
Thank you.
thank you. And talk to you next time.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Kevin.